So I invited some of the Liquor Fairy's friends over to try some of this sourdough whiskey I made. Let's see if they like it. So this one's got hints of cherry and leather and tobacco, and it's been aging for about a year. What do you guys think?
I don't know about leather, but I taste feet. Hey, feet. Toe jam. You got any Coke to mix with it? Angus, what did you think?
I just said, yes, man, right away, anything.
This is a touchy topic. I love spirit tasting. I love trying to find those subtle flavors, the weird stuff that you kind of have to engage your brain to figure out what it is you're tasting. Like this one really does have some like tobacco and leather and cherry and stuff like that. But how many people in your life do you actually know that are whiskey purists? Maybe you're lucky and you have lots of friends or family that love stuff like that. So they can sit down with you and really enjoy the subtle flavors that you've spent months or years crafting. But not everybody is a spirit tasting aficionado. Not everybody has the taste buds to locate the so subtle that you might miss it flavors that we work really hard to craft and to tease out of our spirits. And consequently, if there's ever a time when you share your spirits with your friends, with your family, and you get a less than enthusiastic response, don't let that throw a wet blanket on you just because they're not getting what you're getting, because you've spent months or years learning how to taste these things, learning how to create them, and they haven't. It's not their bag. Very often you'll share something with someone at a family dinner or a party or something, and they might be intrigued for a second that you made it, or skeptical. Just depends on what they know about hobby distilling. But most people aren't like us. So rather than getting discouraged by less than enthusiastic appreciation of what you've made, here's the controversial part. Consider modifying your existing spirits to have more of a broad appeal for the people in your hypothetical circle of trust. It's not cheating, it's entertaining. We're hobbyists. We can do literally anything we want. We can put bananas and grain together to get a banana whiskey if we want. There's literally no constraints on what you can do in this hobby. So why should you exclude yourself from using something like extract flavorings to boost a flavor note or to bring out something completely different? There's no rule that says you can't. What's the point of making all this stuff if you end up having 25 bottles that nobody else is going to enjoy as much as you do? Well, here's the thing. You can change that instantly. And it's not difficult and it's not cheating. You're just helping your friends to appreciate what you spent months or years making a little bit easier. So you have a whiskey that has a little bit of a cherry note to it. So you take that whiskey and you throw a little black cherry in it. I'm using Olive Nation extracts because, quite frankly, they're awesome. I haven't found a single one that I didn't like. The fact that artificially flavored spirits are so popular and have such a large corner of the liquor market is proof that a large portion of the spirit drinking world likes stuff that has a boosted flavor component. The Lambanog that I hypothetically made a couple of weeks ago. If you haven't seen it, I'm going to put the video right up here. That stuff was pretty good, but it was very subtle. Then I added some coconut chunks to it, and it was better. Then I added some coconut sugar to it, and it was even better. Then I put one of these Olive Nation coconut extracts in it, and it was one of the best things I have ever made. My wife loves it, which is really rare for spirits. My whole family does. So why would I stop doing that? Just because you didn't add it in the distillation process and you're adding it afterwards, you still spent all of that time building that recipe, then fermenting it, then distilling it, hypothetically, of course. and then going through the painstaking process of blending and then deciding how much of an extract spirit you wanted to add to that to give it a little extra boost. And let me tell you, I am so glad I did that. To me, as much as I enjoy drinking whiskey, this is one of the coolest things I've ever done. It is literally better than any other coconut type product I've ever had, ever, bar none. So why wouldn't I want to try and make a whiskey with hints of cherry that could be on the same level? That's not going to be something that I just enjoy myself. It's going to be something that I can literally share with anyone, and they'll be like, oh, that's got some cherry in it. Quite frankly, this is delicious. I put 1 drop of this black cherry flavoring in it. Oh, by the way, Olive Nation has these TTB extracts. The TTB is the regulating body that regulates all alcohol production and sales in the United States. If it's not an approved ingredient through the TTB, then it's not something that you could legally put into a commercially available spirit. So one of the things that they've done is they've decided to go ahead and share all of their TTB spirits with the general public. So for whatever you're doing, brewing beer, cider, wine, if you have a hypothetical hobby, they don't care. You can get the extracts for whatever you want. And this one, check this out. This is a sherry flavoring. It smells awesome. If you've oaked something and it's a little too oaky, put a drop of the sherry in there and then let it sit on a shelf for a week or so just for the flavors to kind of meld through there. I think you're going to end up getting something that tastes like it was aged on a cask that previously had sherry in it. How cool is that? And it took you 5 seconds. So before we get too much further, I just want to say a huge thank you to all of these folks right down here, all of my Patreon supporters. You guys are amazing. I love the fact that you guys are my comrades in nerdery. Thank you so much for your support. You guys are all keeping the lights on around here. Thank you so much. So I know that this is kind of a controversial topic because a lot of folks are just, what's in the grain bill is all that's going in the bottle. I totally get that. But if you're the only one that enjoys what's in that bottle, I really think you're missing out. Because, you know, I too have suffered that same exact feeling of being exceedingly proud of this weird Frankenstein whiskey. This one was with a sourdough starter. It was really cool. And you guys appreciate that because you're nerds like me, but, you know, I was the only one who thought that was cool in my entire world of people that I know. To me, that's a little bit tragic. But if I can do the same thing to this bottle of whiskey that I can do to this jar of Lambanog, put 1 drop of stuff in it to make it instantly recognizable, the flavor compounds that I can detect in there, if I can give this to someone and say, here's a cherry flavored whiskey, I'm not going to be offended if they pour it into a glass of Coke, because what else are you going to do with cherry flavored whiskey? Cherry whiskey Coke. And honestly, this stuff doesn't change the base flavor of what you made. It just puts this awesome kind of aromatic recognizableness. That's probably not a word, but it feels right in my head. But all the other complexity is still there. It's not like the cherry is rampaging through. I'm talking about like maybe 3 to 5 drops per bottle, and you're gonna end up good. You know, that awesome pineapple rum that you made, it's fantastic, but you're the only one who's gonna notice that because every other person you know is gonna do a rum and Coke, or they're gonna do a cocktail of some sort, and they're gonna miss out on those flavors. So for me, rather than making this a me hobby, I'm gonna take what I made, what I appreciate, and I'm gonna modify it just a little so that everybody can enjoy it. Because not everybody has your taste buds, and not everybody's gonna appreciate what you made. But you can definitely do a tiny little tweak with some Olive Nation products to just give it some broad appeal to everybody in your life. So if you want to get some of these Olive Nation extracts, use this coupon code. You're going to get a massive discount on anything that you purchase on the entire website. I don't ever want to go to a friend or family member's house and see the jar of spirit that I brought them for Christmas last year still on the shelf, unopened, because that's happened too. So just keep your audience in mind. Who's going to be tasting this, and what is their breadth of experience? Can they pick out the subtle flavors, or do they need a little help? If they need a little help, Olive Nation's got your back. I know this was a short one, but I just got another job, so my schedule's a little tight, but I have something really cool coming up next week. I'm deliberately hiding the ingredients behind a wall of Olive Nation. You can't see what I've got back there. If this opened your mind just a little bit, do me a favor and hit the like button, because it really helps out the channel. If you want to see what's coming up next, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button, and then hit the little bell icon so you get notified when I post new content. If you have any questions, comments, if you have any suggestions about using different Olive Nation flavoring extracts to make different spirits more approachable to family and friends, please post them down in the comments section, because I am always looking for new ideas. All right, thanks for watching. Talk at you later.
I don't know about leather, but I taste feet.